Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litsa. Today is the 2nd of January 2025 and I think it's time we talk about temperature blankets. Now I have resisted to make one for the last few years, reason being I just thought that it would be an impossible task for me to keep up with. You know, every day making a square or every day adding a row to a blanket, and I just didn't want to be overwhelmed by it, and I certainly didn't want to let myself down and at the end of the year have an unfinished project, because let's be real, I have quite a few whips in the background which I need to attend to, and I didn't want this to be another project that would, you know, be stuck in a bag for ages. So as I said, I resisted for a long time. But after seeing all of our friends at the end of last year showing us their amazing blankets, I just thought, you know what, it is doable. And I honestly wanted to make a very special blanket for myself, and I will talk to you about that in just a moment. But then our friend Jill at Gumleaf Crochet and Yarn, she came up with this great idea to invite all of us to join her for the 2025 temperature blanket journey. Now I thought to myself, this will be awesome because I will be made accountable but also be part of a community that will be making a blanket. Together I thought we can cheer each other on and get this done. So I immediately emailed Jill because she did put out an invitation if we wanted to receive this great package here, guys, and I highly recommend that if you want to do a temperature blanket, ask Jill to email this to you. She has a lot of information and also a great like a whole heap of videos on her channel that you can go and see, where she talks you through, you know, the process of making a blanket, how she made her blanket last year. She also has tutorials. And now we're on to, you know, like in 2025. So this is still very doable. It's not too late to get started. So you get this beautiful handout from Jill. And inside, as I said, if you've never ever made a temperature blanket, this is a great guide. I love that she has this area here where you can put all the details about your blanket. Of course, you can amend it through the year, but it does include things like the yarn you're using, your hook size, which as we all know is very important, because how many times have we gone into a whip bag and we have no clue what hook we're using? So that's very important. And then also some other things like the size of your blanket. And to determine that, there are different ways. Obviously, if you're doing a blanket that, you know, is one piece and you're going backwards and forwards in rows, work out what your chain will be in here. Or if you're making squares, which is what I'll be doing, and I'll show you that, you know, make a square to see how many you'll be making, because you don't want a tiny blanket, or maybe you do, but you don't also want one that is going to stretch from here to the other side of the house because you didn't do your calculation. Now in here, Jill also has, and I'll try to find the page, I didn't tag it, where she actually gives you measurements, and here it is here for the different size blankets, and it's just a guide. Now again, I'm so grateful that Jill put this together, so thank you so very much, Jill. It just is a nice reference to have this, and I have certainly kept it, you know, nice, and you know, I'm going to have it with all my notes for my temperature blanket. Now in here, Jill also gives us a tracker, so you can do like a daily tracker if you choose to do the coolest part of the day, or the lowest temperature, highest, or an average temperature. And then I love this here. So I've actually printed mine off on cardboard, but I have seen that Jill just stuck hers on the back of a cereal box and used that as a, you know, backing to make it more sturdier. What I'm talking about is our chart of the colors we're going to be using. So again, that's something that you need to personalize to yourself. Are you going to do the temperature in single, you know, units like 19, 20, 21 onwards? Are you going to do a range 18 to 19, or, you know, 20 to 23? That's totally up to you. So in saying all that, that was wonderful as a great resource. So I thought, I've got this. I'm going to get started. Now I did get that late last year, so I have been able to actually do some of my research about the temperatures that I'm going to be using. But I've put a little twist on mine, or a spin. I'm actually going to do my birth year 1965. So for anyone that is born in that year, you might want to follow along as well. And I do know quite a few of us are turning 60 this year, which I think is awesome. So 1965 was obviously a great year, guys. Now, what I did originally was, from the idea of working out which temperature range we're going to use, you can see here there is a lot of scribble on this. And I did print out the 1965 calendar because I needed to refer to that one rather than the current 2025 calendar, because the days do differ, the dates and the days. So I actually went in and I filled out each and every week, because I'm going to be doing it weekly. And what I decided to do after arming and ahhing, and I've got some resources here, I haven't got them here with me, but I actually printed off and looked online to see the lowest and the highest temperature. Originally, I was going to do the highest temperature, but then I thought, because it's so far back in time, 60 years, it wasn't it was really difficult to get a perfect reading for the temperatures. It varied slightly on the different sites. So I decided to do an average temperature for the week. So the lowest and the highest and the average over the whole week. So for example, I've got a clean copy now of the calendar. You'll see here that I've written, and I've chosen Thursdays for a reason, and I'll tell you that in a moment. So you can see here that I've put in the temperatures. There is room for notes as well if you need to do that. And I have also made a note here that, in August, because I am an August baby, my birth week and what the temperature is, because I'm thinking of doing something slightly different to the actual square. So I'm going to tell you a little story about my actual birthday, because Jill and I coincidentally do share August as our birthday month. And Jill did ask me, what's your birthday? Because, we were going to see if it was on the same day. In actual fact, it works out that we're about a week and a half, we overlap, and we're going to be the same age, because Jill is a year younger than me. So, okay, I have told this story so many times that, it's almost like a poem, or it's like a, movie that I can just put on for people to watch, or a little, video. So, being of ethnic background doesn't help when it comes to knowing your exact birthday, especially when you were born 60 years ago. So I'm sure quite a few of you can relate. And also the fact that my parents moved around so much up until I was about 12 years old. We were gypsies because, work and what have you made them move. Not out of the state or anything, all within the same sort of area, but we moved so many times that, important documents were obviously being lost. So I grew up until I was 16 years old thinking that my birthday was on the 25th of August. I knew the birth year was 1965, so phew, lucky they got that right. And then it came to my 16th birthday around then. I had to get a birth certificate because we didn't have one in the house anywhere. And then we had to order one because I had to get a passport because I was going overseas. So this is where the fun story begins. So I received my birth certificate, and on it, it says the 23rd of August, 1965. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they can't even get my birthday right. What is wrong? I need to ring them. I show my parents, and my mum says, oh, that's definitely wrong. You were born, your birthday is the 26th of August. I said, hold up. You've been telling me all this time it's the 25th of August. Because when you do the Greek translation, and being of, ESL background, and also I wasn't learning Greek as much as I was learning English, what I was hearing my mother saying was, you were born on the after midnight on the 25th. So my translation in my head, all I heard was 25th. She meant I was born after the midnight, so I was born on the 26th. Hence why I have chosen Thursdays as my day that I will be hoping to have each square done, because that is the 26th. So I figure my mum gave birth to me, so she knows best. So my mother refuses to ring me on any other day of the year but the 26th to wish me happy birthday. My children, family and friends that are very close to me block out the whole week. And it's been a running joke for a long time that I celebrate my birthday for a whole week. I even wear a tiara pretty much every day just for fun. So knowing all that about me, you know, forgive me for wanting to celebrate the whole year, because I figure after nearly 60 years of still not knowing my exact birth date, I think that I have, you know, the right to have a little bit more fun with it. So if you're going to celebrate a week, why not make it a year, right? So that is the story behind my birth date. So I hope, Jill, that answers your question. Now, the most important thing when you're making a temperature blanket is the yarn. So guys, I will show you my color chart here. I had so much fun making this, by the way. And yes, I will be keeping all of my squares in my gorgeous, gorgeous Golden Girls bag. I absolutely love this bag, guys. So I'm going to pop it to the side here for now. And I laid all my colors that I was going to be using in this blanket on the floor, and I walked away and I came back a second day and I revisited, and I did do a little bit of changes, but I've landed on colors that I love and that were actually in my Spot Saver USA style stash, because I did not want to use anything else. I wanted to use what I had in the house in my stash. So I've used this gorgeous, gorgeous color chart here. I absolutely love it. And I'm going from 19 to 32, and they're the colors that I've used. Now down here you'll see white, and that is going to be the join as you go joining color, and also for my border. So I'm going to be making this gorgeous little square here. I've fallen in love with this one. I think it's the Sunburst square. And this is the very, very first one. And I did measure it. And I have written somewhere down what my blanket size will actually be. It must be in my notes in here. So let me read it out to you, because it's going to be a lap blanket size from memory. Let me have a little look. Okay, so each square is 13 by 13 centimeters or 5 by 5 inches. I need to make 56 squares in total. There are 52 weeks in the year, so I'll make 2 extra squares, 1 for each corner. I'll do 7 or 8 rows of 7 of 8. So 7 eighths are 56 squares. So when I add the border, because when you join as you go, it doesn't really give you any extra, you know, centimeters or inches, but the border will add to it. So right now I'm thinking that with a border, it's going to definitely be a lapgan size, and a lapgan, according to this, is around 90 by 122 centimeters or 36 by 49 centimeters. Now, it may be a little bit like bigger with the border, and that's absolutely fine, because I want this to be my blanket. I want it to be on me. Not that I don't like sharing with anybody in my family, and by all means, if they need it, they can use it. But I want it to be my blanket because it is my birth year. And after all, you know, sometimes it is nice to make something for yourself. So maybe you haven't considered doing a blanket for an actual birth year, not just the current year. I absolutely have loved this idea for a very long time, including, you know, making one for each of my children, making one, God willing, for future grandbabies, you know, the year that they're born, maybe do that for them and have a special maybe block or square or row that depicts their actual birthday. But, you know, there's so many variations to this. Like I said, you don't have to do a row a day. I thought that would have been too much for me, and I didn't want to be overwhelmed by it, but I certainly do want to make this blanket. So square one is already done, guys. I just need to sew in the ends, and I think it is very, very pretty. But let me show you my colors, because I've ended up, as I showed you here, there are 14 colors. And I absolutely love this yarn, and I will be using a 6mm hook with it. And here is my basket of colors, guys. I've got them already in here. You can kind of see the rest of them. They're all the nice warmer colors at the top, which is what we're currently in now. So, you know, we're here in Australia. It is summer after all. So I cannot wait to finish this project. Not that I'm wishing the year away, but I think it's going to be beautiful. Now, for the center for my birthday week, maybe you guys can help me out. Do I just put white or do I put pumpkin? Because I absolutely love the color pumpkin. It's one of my favorite colors, but I couldn't quite get it to work out in this color scheme that I used here. And let's see, my birthday is going to be 24 degrees. And 24 degrees is aqua. So right there is aqua. So I'm thinking with the aqua, now where's aqua? I think this one's aqua. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I will put the pumpkin center. We'll see how we go. Otherwise, it'll definitely be white. I'll see how we go. So I'm going to pop that one back in there underneath because it's one of the like mid-range colors. And I absolutely love these. The majority of the colors are my Spot Saver USA yarn here, which is worsted weight or 10 ply yarn. Absolutely love this. But I do have a couple of colors here. You'll see these, the orange and the magenta. They're actually mill-ends, but it just so happens that they're the exact same weight, which worked out perfectly. And I also love that this is a great scrap buster. So I invite you guys to join in if you've ever thought of making a temperature blanket. Maybe this is going to work for you too, just doing it weekly. Now, Jill would love to know if you're joining in, and I would absolutely love to know that too. I'm not going to be doing a separate video for this. I'll just, you know, in my podcast, just bring you up to speed or up to date, show you the blanket as it grows. But I think it is very, very doable, guys, and I don't think I'll be falling behind. And let's just say that I fell behind a week or two, it would be very easy to catch up because I can make these sunburst granny squares in my sleep now. I have made them so many times. So I did and ah about which pattern to make, just a traditional granny or the solid granny. But I thought, no, I wanted to make it super, super pretty. And this is one of my most favorite, as I said, squares. And also, it works up very quickly. So that's it, guys. I've got all my resources here that I need. And I am definitely ready to go. I love that I've got my Golden Girls, because, you know, I am a Golden Girl. Golden Girls bag to pop all my squares in, but I am going to be joining as I go. I don't want to make the mistake of not sewing in my ends and not joining in as I go, because sometimes that is my downfall. I get all excited and make all the squares, and then it doesn't become a blanket for a very long time. So that's it, guys. Welcome to 2025, and if you're making a temperature blanket, welcome on board. We can be each other's cheerleaders. As always, it's so much fun when we do it together. Again, that beautiful community of ours, you know, getting together and just enjoying some crochet time. So until I see you all very, very soon, take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.